What is this? A hype train is close. You guys are doing it to me again. Bye, Tom. Respect that gazelle. Choo choo. Gotta respect the gazelle, I'm telling you. You guys are listening to the sweet sounds of Javar right now, by the way. Thank you so much, y'all. As soon as this stuff clears from my screen, all the confetti and stuff, I'll see who's here. New stuff from Javar. It's called Ohm Intro 01. Let's see who's here. We're on a level 2 hype train. What have you guys done? You guys done? What did I miss? I get up for 1 minute, or a few, to go get coffee. Who's here? Saffron's here. How you doing, man? Turn this down a bit. You're first. How are you? Bunch. Salutations. How are things across the pond? Whittlin! Welcome in, sir. 26-month streak. Iggy. Tom is a streaker. Lou D is here. Hats off to you, sir. My hat is currently blocking bright sunlight from zapping my eyes like a laser. Cardio Party's here. What's up, Liv? How you doing? Brogu! How you doing, homie? Happy Friday to you. Bing Bong McGee. Bon George. Cardio needs to write more. Unsure of what to even post for a Feedback Friday that hasn't happened in a minute. I actually had a call with Tom this morning. We try to meet weekly if possible, just because love. And I did hear a little certain something about that. Paul's tuning in from sunny Maryland. Hi, Paul. How the heck are you over there? Liv, famous last words. Do you think we should do this sober? Javar, your track is awesome. This is great. It's really good. I noticed that it's named Ohm Intro 01. Kind of leads me to believe that maybe there's more than one. Scruffy Rico, 20 months, homie. Dude, I appreciate you. Hope you're doing well out there. Oh, wait, hold on a second. You can barely hear me. Femties, how you doing, man? Happy Friday to you. How are things over there? New gig started? Contract in place? How are things? Visor Music. Welcome in, dude. 6-month streak for you. It's amazing. Did you start subbing when you first came around? Because it feels like you've been with us for more than 6 months. Because I gotta say, over the past 6 months, I have had multiple bouts of illnesses, COVID and RSV and COVID and whatnot. So I've missed streams. But my brain is telling me that you've been around for longer than all of that. Whittlin is here. How you doing? Rokusai is here. Yo. Oh no. Oh no. It's evolved from Roki to Ruki. Oh no. Brit Boy is here. Yo, how you doing, Dave? Zell, welcome in. How you doing? Liv, you are a good time. Absolutely. People are really digging this one, Javar. Good stuff. Zell, if you posted to the Discord in the public feedback, then you posted to the right spot. Phantom Sage, welcome in. Let's see who's here today. Ooh, Dave sliding in first, early. Bing Bong McGee coming in with random question. If I had an idea for a plugin, is there a place to hire someone to develop it without stealing my idea? Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's best to work through referrals for this kind of stuff. But if you don't actually know people in that world or people who interface with people in that world, then there are places like Fiverr. I personally would probably go to a forum or group that you're already in and have like a presence with, and simply ask like, hey, is there a developer here? And then start that conversation, because you guys are in kind of a trusted space, right? There's reputations built up and, you know, cohorts and people to vouch for each other. Yeah, there's absolutely ways to get this done now. And there are also places that can help with stuff like arbitration or dispute resolution. Called now. I was about to call it what it used to be called. It's the big freelance website. It'll come back to me. I'll probably just blurt it out 2 minutes from now while talking about something. Everybody that's listening in the chat right now, post a link to a resource that you think would be helpful for someone looking for some help with plugin development. Is it just a regular like BST AU app kind of plugin? Visor, yeah. Yeah, it definitely felt like you were around for longer. So Javar says, this is just me keeping it simple and recording some live ambient improv and then adding some accents on top of it, similar to what I do when I stream. Some ashlight, augmented streams, a bit of sound effect design, and a bunch of effects. Good stuff. Good stuff. Ping Pong, if you'd like to shoot me a DM over Discord, and kind of give me a scope, little overview. Maybe I can point you in the right direction. Tremtize has a public service announcement. If there's any devs in here, there's this thing called Audio Design Desk. Kind of sucks and is only for Mac, but it's got some really cool concepts that would work great on Windows. Oh man. Whose is this one? This one's mine. I threw it on the tail end just in case we ran over. I've been making new music cues for the second volume of a documentary music series, and I knocked out like 30 tracks here on previous streams a couple weeks ago. And it will be released not this coming week, but the week after. Big old variety of stuff in there. Danny's here. I am imagining in the chat. Please follow him. He's making moves. He's going to join us again on the stream soon because we've got yet another release coming out from him. He makes a very good point. Sign an NDA. Yeah, just shoot me in a DM, Bing Bong, and I'll give you a couple of tips on how to actually conduct the conversation, regardless of who you end up having the conversation with. Jabbar. For me, it was just a Thursday morning. Samsung Orange Ringtone. Welcome in, homie. Happy Friday to you. Good to see you in the mix. I hope you've brought something with you. Always funking it up. Ah, thank you, Sal. You were just the warm-up band. Where do I get the percussion? I make the percussion. That's where I get it from. If you want to use the same elements, each one of these tracks was made exclusively and entirely from the content that we've created for the Audio Design Desk library. So all of this stuff you could actually create yourself with the same stuff. Or you could do it differently. But, you know, there's like 70,000 files to flip through and combine in different ways. It's fun. Until next week, because then there will be more sounds. And then the week after that, there's more sounds. So you got to keep up. Treb ties. It can't be a week completed. Not entirely. If you guys don't sack on me for something. Tremtai says it's kind of become a meme if neither me or Roku bullies Chris for not making ADD available for Windows. It's not really a proper stream. It's true. It's true. Oh, there's a link from Danny in the chat. Click on that. Yeah, Zell. Hey, listen to my new track. But upon listening, you've agreed to the terms clearly stipulated in the attached PDF. Zev is here. Everybody follow Zev. Zev Music in the chat. What's up, Will? How you doing, man? For feedback, yes, I totally get it, Zev. This is awesome. I love it. I love it. We could actually make it a little bit easier for everyone and just put a like pin an NDA to the feedback stream channel in the Discord. Like by clicking into this room and staying here as a participant, you agree to the following. You will not steal Zell's tracks. It's not okay. Sitting in the airport, where are you flying to today, kind sir? Miss you, homie. We got to make some noise. Thank you, Danny. Percussion. It's a bit of a thing. Happy Friday to you too, Will. Roku's here. Did somebody say ADD for Windows? Is there ADD for Windows now? You guys. Roku said... Oh, no. Never mind. That was just a question. Javar's on it too. He heard it too. What? Chris said. Oh, man. Javar's already retweeting. Tweet hype. ADD on Windows. Oh, Archaeotic Crafts. Hello. Happy Friday to you. Hello, hello. Says, so I was just watching the Bob Ross stream. ASMR. And I'm right to state that, Chris, you're like the Bob Ross of music making. So, Organic Crafts, it's a long running joke actually. People have been trying to, in the community, have been trying to rebrand OhmLab as Mod Ross for a very long time. Um, a dozen years at least. Yes, people have referred to me as the Bob Ross of sound. Uh, yeah, there was even a period of time where I did receive some flannels and stuff from folks. There may have been a wig. Heading to Winnipeg, playing a show tomorrow, says Will. If you're close to Winnipeg, go see Zev Music, performing live. 3-hour set. Nice. Nice. All right, I'm never going to catch up with the chat. Zev says ADD and HD. ADHD on Windows? No, that's actually been there. That's actually been there. It's a feature. It's not a bug. Literally just me. All right, well, we should probably take a listen to what you guys have been cooking up instead of just yammering here. We've got 18 people already dropped stuff in here, so we should probably cookie. And hopefully I hear all of the things that you put on this side of your mix. I've been sitting. Thank you. Thank you. And hearing, like, pretty consistently all day, so. Zev, yes. Of course. Of course. Everybody, Will is about to jump onto an airplane, so we're going to listen to his track, Priority Status. Danny, I appreciate you so much, homie. You put your entire mix just to the right. It's going to be, that panning is going to, those moving pieces, they're all going to feel so good. Seriously though, when we did the impromptu feedback stream a couple of days ago on Wednesday, and I was hearing your guys' stuff like move around on the left, I was like, all right, back. Zell says, ADHD on Windows would just be called Linux. Jafar says, you could just listen to it once, flip your headphones, and listen again. Oh, this is great. This is great. Oh, you're liking this, Whittling. Yeah, I feel like, you know, I only knocked out 30 tracks for this volume. But I feel really good about the ones that I did knock out. Oh, and I did do some ambient remixes. Remember last week or whatever when I put up a bunch of these tracks, like 20 of them, and we just put Sound Toys Little Plate on with like 32-second delay, and everything sounded gorgeous. I took it one step further, and I also included some Paul stretch and a little bit of guitar rig and some rift, and they turned out lovely. I did like 8 of them or so. So there's these nice, really long form, smooth sailing ambient pieces. Some uplifting, some dark. It's all good. Tremtize, you're going to look cool whether you're wearing your headphones on one side or both sides or upside down. Danny, yeah, right? And anything will help. Tom said he knows of a spot and a subtle maneuver that will trigger like pretty incredible draining powers, apparently. Gonna hunt that down and give it to me. Innovation. Yes, upside down. All right, let's ditch all of this and see where Will posted his track. Here it is. And then we will dig into all of the others. Stoked for this. Lukheim. track. Really nice full mix. Sitting there on the outro for a bit just to kind of listen through like potential ideas for like different types of volume balancing. Um, right, just like shifting the priority of different instruments or layers at different points. So let's run through this. I really love all of it. I love the effort sample, the and just the sizzle and the kind of electric nature um, that's running through so much of the sound palette, and I like the playfulness of the bass classic Zev stuff. Um, I want just like a tiny little bit of added to the middle of the kick, and I think that's just because of that kind of sizzle and energy that's running through um, everything else. Um, Yeah, I feel there's this very playful energy coming from new toys and recent liberation, and feels good in here, man. I can feel all of it. So for that mid accent, I would probably personally set up a parallel channel, like send off to an aux and put some saturation on that aux, and then EQ, right? Like target a specific frequency, only let that part of the spectrum through in the mix, and then just kind of bring it up to taste, kind of layer in the accent. I think the guitar is awesome, by the way. Want some kind of filter play on the main guitar layer, so the little dotted delays on the other layer can stand out, and maybe that one actually moves out a bit. I don't know. I was thinking about like different volume mixing schemes for those. But I think there's a little bit of pan separation that's needed in there as well, because they sit kind of on top of each other, and you don't really get to appreciate the little nuances of the backing stuff. So anyway, and then also perhaps even stack a second delay parallel on the backing guitar, the one with the little licks, just to extend some of the tails. Okay, so separation and change over time. I'd set up a couple of long form modulations on a few things and leave them unsynced from each other. They can be synced to the track, right? So everything stays in time and groovy. But I would, set one on like a 5 bar LFO, and another one on like a 12 bar, and another one on like a 20 bar or something like that. So, right, they're going to create these happy accidents because you're not really going to be able to predict in advance how those things are going to come in contact with each other and affect our perception of various things in the mix. So, mm. Ooh, distinctive. That would be a cool fit, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Will, this is great. This is good stuff, man. I love hearing the energy, and I love the vibe. It's good to hear all. If it feels like freedom. That's what it feels like. It feels like freedom. I need to scroll up here just a bit and find Saffron's. This one, right, Saf? The Martin Gaz. You are welcome, Will. We got a jam soon. Yeah, baby. All right, Saf. This is the last of our catch-up stuff, and then we're at the top of our queue. All right, new stuff from Saf. Martin Gaz. And Dremi is here. We can get this party started. Have a safe flight, Will. There is an order, Whittlin. Will just had to jump on an airplane. That's all. Saf posted this in advance. Dude, Saf, this is great. I don't know that I really want stuff changed too much in the mix. There's a couple of things though, as far as like the delivery and subsequent interest level in that for them. Like the noise pulse, I think could be varied a little bit over time. It doesn't have to be drastic. It could absolutely be subtle, and I think it would make that element more interesting over time. So just like a little filter play and a little bit of volume play, and like I was saying to Will, keep those things unsynced from one another. So the occurrences happen at different times, so you end up hearing things differently over time. It feels like it's evolving. It's a nice little trick. That little oddity on the right, the nasally thing that's got a bunch of formanty kind of stuff going on there. I would bring that down a couple, so it's a little, it's a little bit elusive, and then because it's already got its thing going on, right, as it's coming in and out, and then I'd move it around the stereo field, like set it up on an auto pan, put a tremolo on there, whatever. Make it move a little bit, maybe a tremolo and an auto pan, right? So it's kind of it's floating and it's fluttering, and it's moving around. I think it'd be really awesome. Cool ear grabbing sound. And I really like the obscured dialogue. Not a lot to really change in this one. I think this one's really cool. And I think that who said it? Ludi said it. This would be really good music for like a David Fincher film. Yeah, it's got a quality. that is absolutely Saffron works, but it's got a quality to it that is um, I guess attractive. You know what I mean? Like it's got really cool textures, but the hypnoticness of it, um, classic Saff, really good stuff. Yes, Trem. Yes. I love it. Release an album of all your stuff just backwards. Oh man. Ooh. 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 Ludi says Alien 3, 7, The Game, Fight Club, Panic Room. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Where you've got like anxiety and tension and uneasiness, like the unsettling and also like the out of balance or out of control kind of thing. Absolutely. Oh yeah. I feel all that. All right, here we go. Dave, you are up. Rip Boy in the chat. This one's called Party Boy. Haha! Hey now. What has Dave gone and done?
Young natty boys back at it again. Got rid of them waste, man, and put them in the bin like drop dead weight, far away for the cleanse. If it ain't in your range, and you know it makes sense. Tell them it's a rap, put it in the bag. Trying to level up, run a lap, rev it in the mag. Oh, you got it, it's a million a stack. Hold it up or put it back, ain't no bluffing in the bag. The level I'm living is impeccable. I'ma set it up enough to run a record around them. I went and got it. I saw the way they watching and doubting until the very day they saw me go and call my account. Now what you selling? Been around here, never fitting, but this misfit don't trip for the bounty and I'm betting. The vision never been so vivid. That's why I see color like it's running around me. It's like color in the stars, color in the gums, you know. Still dripping on my palms when I take control. Backstage at a rave, I surpass the goal. Gang putting in the pass, I'ma take the ball. Take it, put it in the net, feel like Salah in the flesh. I make a banger than the jet and read about it in the press. Out here with a click, about to fly away to check. Europeans in the set and matter, and I'm taking bets. Yes, man, I know about the flex. Keep it up, man, I flow above the rest. Watch how I turn better to the best. I just start praying more and saying less. Since then, got the pen, feeling blessed. Put a lyric on the sheet, get the speech off my chest. They really wanna read what I'm leaving them next. Yes, I put the hook in just to get them obsessed.
Dude, this is great. There's just a couple of things. There's just a couple of things before you get this mastered because you need to get this done. It's great. Great vibe. Um, Tame the low end. On the bass, it's hitting pretty consistently. You get that sub constantly present, and you don't actually need it, or as much of it, I should say. If you move it up to 50 hertz, 12 dB per octave curve, you're still going to get a little bit of presence down there all the way around 30 or so, but it's going to be minimal, right? So you're going to take a lot of that energy and redistribute it to the middle frequencies where the vibe is, right? The next thing is a little bit of saturation on the vocals will help provide some definition and energy to them and help them sit right up on top. Maybe just a touch more compression on them. It's kind of tough to judge at the lower volume level, but I can hear everything clearly. It feels like once the low end is cleared up down there and the vocal is a bit more defined, then everything's going to kind of fall into place and pop. Um, Oh, and limit the low end frequencies in the side of your mix as well. The sub in the center, the low frequencies on the side, they aren't just a distraction, but they also use up energy that could be used to better purpose elsewhere. So, this is great though. This is really awesome. Yeah, vocals up a tiny bit. I think the saturation would help with that, give them a little bit of edge, help them stand up a bit. It's not sure. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Saying a little low, and the Vox feels very slightly rushed ahead of the beat at times. Hmm. You know, you can help with that. You can help with that. You can play a little kind of push pull kind of swing game with the rhythm, actually, with the drums, and probably find a way to kind of find some alignment, right? It's okay if the vocals push things, if everything else feels in the pocket, because it can really kind of create the kind of lean in, you know, energy up kind of vibe. So fills, right? With your drums, a couple of fun fills, and accents. Um, Move stuff off that grid just slightly. Find that pocket. Yeah. Who did the vocals? Is that you? Javar, you spin me right round, baby, right round like a record, baby, round, round. Oh, Zell wants the vocals to come in earlier. Yeah, they are so good. They're very fun. This is very good stuff. Not that the beat is bad, but the combo of the vocals and beat is so fire. Yeah, absolutely. Just found them. They're solid. They're solid. You put some fun energy into them. It can get a bit weird. That is true, Trim. That is true. Wid, you are up. This one is called Excalibur. Wid. There we go. Excalibur. Ooh, wait, hold on a second. No, 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 no. Ah! The track was really, really good up until that point. Damn it. Anybody else catch that? Right there? There at 236. It just kind of stops. Seriously though, the way that this ends, I would extend it just a little bit and I would do it with playing with just some delays. I would I would like grab onto one of the last little vocal chop flutter phrases there. And I would play around just through some automation, right? Just record some automation so you can fine tune it later, after you get done twisting your knobs. Keep the feedback up, right? And have a filter or and or volume modulation in combination, right? So the feedback is still carrying it forward and getting big and weird and stuff. And then your filter and volume control is disclosing that stuff in whatever kind of maniacal ways your mind might think up. But like one last little play, I think would feel so good on this. Maybe. I mean, I think it would, but this is your art. Really, really dig the intro, the vibe. It's really good. I think that one thing could help open up everything else quite a bit more, and that's rolling up the cutoff on the sub, on the lowest element in the mix. And because of that, you would probably also want to tighten up both the kick and the bass and whatever other supporting low end elements you have in the mix, adjust each of them up like 10, 15 hertz just to kind of help share that offset. But what that's going to do is kind of clear out some of those slower moving frequencies that we're not hearing. We're definitely feeling them. You're still going to feel and hear everything that's in there. Everything is still going to come through. But it's not going to obfuscate the clarity of the rest of the sound design that you have on display, right? Remember, every single hertz of low end that you can save is going to help provide power and liveliness and definition to the sound design elements that you've worked so hard on, right? That are at the meat of all of it. So subtle transition support at 27 seconds, or exactly where that was, maybe 26 seconds. But just a really, really subtle filtered noise swell, sweep, or whoosh. Paster's choice, right? But just something really, really low level and low velocity, like kind of thing. 38 seconds. These windups are incredible with the vocal chops, by the way. Really, really good delivery. It feels really great. That kind of surging energy is awesome. The luffs are a touch up. So when you are maximizing all of this, or limiting all of this at the end, bring that threshold up just a little bit, because right now it's messing just a little bit too much with the low end, and then that's pushing against everything else in the mix. So if you take away some of that extra drive that's being added to it, it's gonna translate better. So yeah, roll up low end cutoff on that sub 45 hertz, 12 dB per octave curve. Right now, it feels like it's sitting somewhere between like 28, 30, somewhere like that. And I would A/B compare the two so you can listen to them and feel the difference. And you'll feel a noticeable difference, even though it seems like kind of a minute change. The chops from beginning to end are fantastic. They're really good. The timing is really good. The delivery is fun. Really solid use of the beat in your arrangement to help kind of control energy and flow. Surges are really satisfying. Really good stuff. Luti. Trem says, Chris, links are being lazy again. What's up? Oh no, our commands aren't working? Really? Oh my gosh. They were working just a little bit ago, weren't they? Hold on just one moment, please. We'll get that fixed right up. Do. Got to go into the thing and hit the thing and shake the thing. God, bot, go. All right, now let's try it. Do. Oh, well, that's... Really? Oh, no. Oh, wait. It's off again. Why is it toggling itself off? Let's try it again. Doobie-doobie-doo. Hey. Okay. I don't know what happened to OhmBot. But All right. Well, we're back in. Okay, Scruffy Rico's up next. Do what Rich got up to. Dude, this was great. Highly entertaining, very satisfying. Really, really good sound design work. Your sound palette is really good, really good, and you developed a really nice space. Try to wrangle in the low end as much as you can while still maintaining the power that you're looking for from it. Um, it's mostly just needed for support. You have so much interest in all of your sounds, and your composition arrangement of it is just fantastic. So don't feel reliant upon low end for like the added impressiveness. It is super impressive there. This one's called Leo. Scruffy says something else I'm experimenting with. OhmLab is in weekend mode. Going full screen. We've seen this video on another one, haven't we?
Let's get started.
Here we go.
He was impressed by the loveliness of her hair. So wide and delicate.
Here we go. Here we go.
Dude, Scruffy, this was solid. I love it. I dig it. The one thing that I would say about this one is I would let some of the ear candy kind of dominate during that section at the end. Um, like maybe start the fade out of the music um, a bit earlier. And as that's kind of fading away and the sound design elements, the ear candy stuff is kind of staying up on top, you could like slowly kind of wash it out. Um, give it all one shared reverb there at the end, and just kind of bring it more and more and more into wet and just kind of let it piece out. I feel like feel kind of nice. Maybe it's the space imagery influencing me, but yeah, it was really good. Ooh, yeah, with some vocals on top, it would be ace. Oh, that's great. Zell's toilet flushed in the same key as the track. It's nice. Nice transition effect. Still needs that story. Yeah. I think your arc is really good in this. I think that if you were to embellish a little bit more at this stage with small transition effects, and trying to kind of sprinkle those little bits of ear candy and little interest embellishments, if you will. I don't know. I find that it kind of starts to take on the whole piece starts to take on a greater sense of wholeness, right? And it kind of starts to disclose to you where you're going with it all. So sometimes it helps if you're not exactly sure what the story is, just to start to kind of force the arc a little bit by getting some sounds in there, swapping them out for different ones perhaps. But once you get something in there, starts. LFO type. That's great. Wanted to make more of the distortion at the end. Yeah, I could feel that. You can, if you were to set up a little parallel channel and set up some processing on that channel, say that would create some subtle feedback, right? And then you can put your distortion over that, or you could put like a long form delay with higher feedback into a reverb that's kind of creamed out, right? And non-specific, kind of abstract, and then saturate that, right? So the whole space kind of distorts. Let yourself play. Let yourself play at the end there. Rockhound. Lude. Ludi. Free Your Mind, version 2. Do this.
Ой, да на горе калина сладка была. На саду пел соловушка. Да заливался до темна. Да закат гладит по головушке.
Do the fill. Um, it's just good. Like just the energy of it is just good. It's like really satisfying. I'm sitting here for a moment just kind of contemplating this. This is good. This is really good energy. At 113, maybe a little bit more transcendental feeling. From the transition, let a tail hang over the mix for a few seconds, similar to what you did with this build. Toward that last section, that fill. And the one at the end. I felt like the one at the end got cut just a little bit short. Like you might want to add like a little splash of reverb on the last note so you can fill just a touch of space. Not a big long reverb, just a way to force just a little bit more space before the track ends. 159. I think you should test this. Double down on the risers here. I'd put a second riser. Not sure what that first one was. It felt like maybe it was an 8-bar. But you could experiment with putting either a 16 or a 4-bar in there. If it's 16, let it slowly build with a really linear delivery, and make your other one a bit more concave so it ends up being a little bit dramatic at the end, surging. Or if this pre-existing one is like 8 bars, make the other one 4 and make the 4-bar one more dramatic, more concave in its delivery. I just think it would be good. And then if you end that, if you also then at that point of transition layer in an added suckback, just as filtered cymbal or white noise burst, just reverse it, filter it to kind of soften it a little bit, but you just get that little kind of a feel right at the end of that transition. It'd be perfect. At 223, if you are using a wavetable synth, modulate the wavetable position as the notes articulate up with that synth. The reason I say this is, or if it's not a wavetable synth, there are other things that we can do. It could be tuning. It could be a little bit of resonance play in addition to that filter play. But just something that helps the sound move rather than you moving the sound. You know what I mean? Just a little bit more liveliness in that one little element there would be like icing on the cake kind of stuff. It's got a similar kind of a vibe as some of Will's stuff, Zev. And he and I talk a lot about that, right? Living sounds and like the implications therein. So it's kind of a similar vibe. And just in general, play a little bit with subtle resonance movement on the filters. Your filter timing and everything is really, really choice on this. Really good. It's a solid piece, dude. Really, really good. Glow in the dark bracelets. Rockhound never misses. Samsung. Okay, here we go. Samsung orange ringtone. Now it's Friday. Finding the truth. full mix sound right here. Mm. Mm. That's good. That's good. All right. There's really only a couple of things here. First, really groovy. The life force in this one is strong. Tighten up the low end of that bass a touch. And then, dude, Zell, seriously, like I'm going to stop feedback for a second. My heart goes out to you. Get better. Really, really good stuff. Tighten up the low end. Pay attention to what you do to that bass. Right now, it feels like there's some frequencies between like 30 and 60 that aren't quite necessary. If you were to roll that low end all the way up to, say, around 60 hertz, and keep a gentle curve, little 12 dB per octave curve, I think it'll tighten up the majority of what you're hearing in the mix. But it doesn't end there. Go in and find just a little bit more space that you can tighten up the low end in a few other elements in the mix that do have some presence down there where the bass is operating. Okay, and that's going to clear up that bass even more. And the bass has really nice texture on it, right? So it's got some nice upper harmonics. You're going to want to make just a little bit more room for the keys because of that range being extended and whatnot. So you're going to find a couple of elements where you can dip just a little bit out around like 500 to 1,000, right? And then just kind of sit back and listen and try to envision the space that these artists are playing in, right? What does this club look like? How big is the stage? How close together are they? And now you need to create that environment. The players feel like they're all locked in and they're performing together, but they're not necessarily in that room together, right? A little bit of shared space, or seems like it's the same kind of space on the keys, just a touch more on the drums, but bring the level of the drums down just a little bit, right? They tend to be a little bit forward and they could be brought back just a little bit volume wise. And a little bit more volume automation or change in volume presence when different things are happening in the mix. Right now it's good, but it could be really good, right? If you brought up that lead just a little bit more and brought the supporting guys down just a little bit more in a couple of different spots, I think it would feel a little bit more like when you're in the club and someone's getting ready to solo, they step up to the mic and the other guys take a little step back, right? So there's this kind of physical change as well. So changing position of pan, like the pan position, can also help with that separation. Everything else in this is really pretty solid. The levels, though, like just the overall pushing of the limits, I'd back stuff up and give yourself a little bit of headroom for the master. It's okay if things sound a little bit quiet at the end of your mix. Your energy is all there. Um, that's good. That's good. Hey, Blackberry's here. Welcome in, Blackberry. Good to have you in the mix, homie, as always. What does tighten up the bass mean? Move up the low end cut on there. Let's just say that this is kind of where yours is, or maybe you are not even cutting anything off the bottom end and you can roll it all the way up to about here. And it's going to free up all of this. This frequency space down here is it's the hardest to reproduce. It takes a ton of energy to do it. Those notes stick around a long time in the mix. It just kind of makes everything sound less complete and full and well formed and well positioned and defined. Zalface, get in here. What's your middle name? We could just toss your middle name in there for when you're really in trouble. Hey, now Blackberry says you can tell you're making a difference in the overall bass when the upper mids start to become more clear. Yep. What color are the walls? How angry is the sound guy? Bing Bong is back. Oh my goodness. The sound guy is always grumpy, the precursor to angry. Besides, you probably pissed him off by doing something stupid like blasting your Marshall when his head was in front of the speaker while adjusting a mic. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Bing Bong, you're up. Bing Bong is saying, just a work in progress, started yesterday. Haven't tried anything like this yet. Bingbo. Drummer. Let me type this out. I can't really type and talk at the same time. I am a limited monkey here. Um, hmm. All right, so I think most of this stuff is just like quality of sound and or interest stuff. I like the vibe that you're developing. I would give the drums a bit of saturation. It'll help kind of develop the full body. When you first start putting it on there, you're going to be like, how much do I need to add? How much do I need to add? And when you start to hear them ring a little bit, right? The same way that a drum really rings in a room when you're that's when you know you kind of found the sweet spot. And it might be a bit more than you're expecting at first. And I would do it with something really super clean and simple, like just like a little transparent overdrive and not anything pretty. I would tame the highs a bit, and I would also sweep for resonant peaks because there is some resonance in those upper frequencies that we're hearing right now. Um, fair bit of them are coming from that pad, and the pad can come down just a little bit too. As soon as you find those resonant peaks, you can take them out. Pad can come down a little bit. And then lastly, you can vary the guitar a little bit for interest. Try introducing a couple of unexpected changes. If you're feeling daring, like a reversal or even a sequencing or something. If you're not feeling that daring, try partnering it with something else. Try adding something that can add a little bit more kind of top line interest um, to it. But you've got a really good beginning here, and this is something new for you, right? Like this is not what you normally make. Um, I want to see what people in the chat are saying. Only got 8 months of production experience right off the bat. Consider doing some chord inversions in the guitar part just to keep the texture shifting. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure exactly how you're getting the guitar in there, if it's a sampled instrument or if you're playing it. Um, but if it is in software, you probably have some tools in your DAW um, that can help with some of that stuff. It's really easy to experiment when you're like in your piano roll and you can actually visually see um, how your chords are structured. If you're playing in, what I would recommend is just doing a really long take, right, and punching out some really solid riffs, lines from that. Just kind of just riff on it. Just play. So set this thing up on loop and just record and just go for a while if this is you just playing organically. And then just chop some pieces out and remember that you can stitch them back together however you like in a DAW. And then that way, this can be kind of a modular building thing. Because if you're, um, you know, still just getting used to the whole process of producing something, it can be overwhelming to think of like, how can I get that one whole complete thing in there? But you could do it one bit at a time. So. Bing Bong says, guitar is weird. I was using a Kontakt preset and had latch turned on. When I try to change up the guitar, keeps going. Oh, so you can change that. You can go into your automation lane and just turn off that automation or delete it. Hmm. Blackberry, I like that. I'm a big Ginger Baker fan, so I mean John Bonham is great as well. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Yeah. What DAW are you in? Bing Bong. You can usually automate pretty much any parameter. You just need to know which parameter it is. FL Studio. Anybody in FL that can help Bing Bong McGee find that setting? He had latch turned on during a recording, and it's limiting him. Keep going in this direction. keep going in this direction. And now that BlackBerry's put the thought of some big drums in there, that's now exactly what I want to hear. Yeah, you can. You can automate on and off, and I do that a fair bit. There's one thing to watch out for, and that is when you automate on and off on some plugins or processes, it can cause an audible click or jump in the audio experience in some way. So you might have to combine it with a little volume automation on the track at the same time, just for what it's worth. Cool. Progu, you're up, dude. Distant stars. Progu, you cooked up a long one. This is so lovely. Take care, Saf. This is really nice. I'm gonna needle drop just a little bit to this change up here. Roku and Proku. I'd buy a can of that in the store. I would buy some Roku Progu sauce. This is some good stuff here. It's good to have a sensei like Roku. My main thing here so far, Progu, is don't change too much. Ooh, that reverb right there, you could take a little bit of low end out of that reverb channel. Always EQ after your reverb. Blackberry's feeling like the journey could be expedited a bit. I'm gonna needle drop in a couple of spots here. Well, how did we get here? Hold on just a second. Let's figure out how we got here. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I side with Zell on this one. This is lovely. Needle dropping. Zell, same. I tend to listen to some pretty eclectic stuff. Yeah, this could be a 3 to 5 track EP that has no break or pause between the tracks. It's just one contiguous experience. Yeah, my biggest feedback for you here would be two things. Small amounts of movement in the delivery of these kind of mainstay droney kind of elements. It doesn't have to be anything over the top or overt. Something really subtle is better. A little bit more lean in from something like that. EQ your reverb, tighten up the low end on a couple of things where you can. You just kind of have to go through track by track and find those things. But go through and EQ all of the reverbs that you have in play, top and bottom. And then listen back and see what you feel. I think what you're going to find is that you have greater depth and clarity when the environment in which you're cooking your soup is under greater control. So, Progu, right there. That's all you need to know. You were commissioned to make it. It needed to be about this length, so it's this length. There you go. I do that stuff all the time. Like, mystery solved, right? Why is it this long? This is why it's this long. I got paid to do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Got to EQ verbs. I'm always so bad at that. Well, you know, either you're Progu the Great or you're a freaking savage, you know. You choose. It's like a choose your own adventure. You can either EQ your reverb or we shun you through small text messages in chat. Yeah, which isn't very fun. Let's just not be a savage. Uh-huh. Yep. See, BlackBerry feels the same. Well, if it's for a commission piece of predetermined length, then you can keep the length. Just add a little more butter to the batter with some subtle textures that expand more to the entire frequency spectrum. There's a little bit lacking above 4K. I would agree. I would agree with that. Atmospheric presence is key. You can accomplish this stuff in so many different ways. But I don't know, something like this reactor. I would turn to reactor in a heartbeat. Just because generative stuff can oftentimes give you the most satisfying results when it comes to atmospheric source sounds. So yeah, absolutely. All right, on to the next here. Trem. See what Trem is making this week. Anime adventure. Dude, this is a great palette. Very, very good palette. It's got all the greatest hits. It's got something soft and round. It's got something pokey, and it's got something. No, it's good. It's really fun, and it's super cute. It's super super cute. Here's just a few things that I would throw out. More separation between the keys and the piano. Things that are articulating melodically are not each having their own presence felt in the way that it could be, I think. So a little bit more separation between them, a little bit more volume change as one kind of takes over the leader position, a little bit more definition on that soft sine synth. Yeah, really, I can't get over the palette. It's so much fun. It's so good. So good. Let's see what other people are saying here. Hey, something good. How you doing, man? Welcome in. Happy Friday. By the way, happy Friday, Blackberry. Zell, this is Feedback Friday. We're all expecting feedback, so keep it coming. Blackberry, sending love your way, homie. It's not been an easy year, Trem, this is fun. This is fun. That's all I got to say about this. This is just fun. A little more definition, a little more separation. It's just a lot of fun. And longer, more of it. Also, I want to play this game. Because fun. This one's called Dark Lord, and it's from Visor. Whoa, boss level. Yeah. Okay, Visor. Here's my obligatory luffs at you. Fantastic set of sounds on display. That the first half of the song is, it's like you threw a little party with just ear candy. Like, surprise, here's a bunch of ear candy in your face. Enjoy it. We lose some definition when the distortion comes in. And then we lose more definition when more distortion comes in. So as we start stacking the intensity of the sounds, I think there needs to be a little bit of offset somewhere, because we can't hear all of the different elements in play. And if we were able to find greater balance and all of that, then it would feel less of an assault and more of an, oh, hell yeah, let's roll. So big sounds paired with other really big sounds in similar timing and frequency range is just difficult. So a little bit of greater separation, more change in volume levels as different elements are coming into play. So each one of these things can kind of have their own little, I call them hedgehog moments, because you're juggling so many different sounds. They're like, oh, I'm playing. Oh, I'm playing. Just so they get out of the way of each other a little bit more. I would EQ your reverb a bit tighter. It's not just the lows that we have to worry about with reverb. We got to worry about the highs too. And there were a couple of points in here where everything is just kind of like clamoring almost in the mid highs and highs. And it's because these sounds are ringing out a little bit too long up high. And if you restrict those frequencies, now all of a sudden that high end becomes clear again. And you're really only hearing those frequencies come through from the original sound, right? And it's mostly the mid frequencies that are being reverberated there. At 218 is a really good example of when things are building up a little bit too much, I think. And it would be great to get a fresh volume mix on that and less compression. The luffs, the loudness of everything is one thing, but the loss of the dynamic space between each element is kind of robbing you of the opportunity to allow them to have greater separation, right? Because what separation you did find through volume management and EQ is quickly removed when you compress that space. So I would challenge you to back off some of that compression, that limiting, and find more perceived loudness through saturation, but less gritty, not gritty distortion, just saturation, right? And see how that all feels. This is really like some high energy, good stuff here. You are welcome, Visor. Roku, you are welcome as well, and good luck. Mm-hmm. Ear candy, stripper name. Yep, hard clipping. Okay, Zell is up next. Zell, you've been weighing in with some good feedback today. Zell saying, was supposed to track vocals for this today, but woke up sick. Linkin Parkish vocals, knocked loose screams. This one's called Basement Floor. You know, it's so nice to have working hearing again. Great balance of loudness and power in this one, Zell. It was good. That was a nice treat. Touch less low end in the layered guitars, let the bass peak out. But also, just in general, oh, that is actually supposed to be this other kind of peak, right? There's a build up in the mid highs around the snare. Fix that. Touch less lows in the guitars, and then tilt the mix just a little bit, right? Just kind of almost in the middle. Boop, little less low. Boop. But just, you know, around the body of the snare sound. You can hear, if you try to focus on just the snare for a bit, you'll start to pick up. Cymbals are being cut off a bit, so you're losing some of the impact of their function there. Old school maneuvers. I love the pauses, the hard stops. I love the bass. Love the bass soloing there. It's all good. It's all good. I think we all got bass face there at the end. And Andremia chimes in with the boop at the end, which is incredibly accurate. Blackberry says the bass guitar seems to be overwhelmed by everything else. Guitars, in my humble opinion, truly sound loud when they crest and dip below the sound of the bass, because it tends to sound a little more like guitars are pushing air in an actual space when that happens. I agree. It's not sure, says cymbals definitely can be brought up. Guitars above 3K can be brought out some to give the song more presence. Trem says, this is why I love Feedback Fridays. You never know what you get. Progu brings lovely ambient journey. Decide to fart all over that with the power of Weebs, and then you get boss type awesomeness by Visor, and in comes metal. You guys are the best. Something good, obviously. Obviously. Playing with a stacked deck over there. Maggie's here. I've been seeing this image. I didn't actually tune into what it was. Just kind of floating down there at the bottom of my peripheral. Are you in this room right now, Maggie? Because we're about to hear something great. Maggie always brings some really, really great stuff. All right, let's do this. This one's called Attention. It's okay. Yeah, this is really great art. We're going to pick back up with her in the VOD, maybe.
Touch my hand, take me there. I don't care. Anywhere, I'm on my knees, begging please. Won't you try and put my worried mind at ease? Baby, you're a different breed, but there's one thing that I need. Sorry, I'm not more modest, but if we're being honest, I'm the kind of girl who needs a little more compliments and kisses, or I'll probably feel ignored. Being my man, no, it's not easy. It's worth it, I swear, if you just give me a lot of attention. A lot of attention. I'll be your obsession. I'll be your obsession. Wanna know how you feel? Can you handle such a rough deal? I'm teasing you, you like it too. So what you say to me, falling in love with you? Baby, you're a different breed, but there's one thing that I need. Sorry, I'm not more modest, but if we're being honest, I'm the kind of girl who needs a little more compliments and kisses, or I'll probably feel ignored. Being my man, no, it's not easy. It's worth it, I swear, if you just give me a lot of attention. A lot of attention. I'll be your obsession. I'll be your obsession. A lot of attention. A lot of attention. A lot of attention. I'll be your obsession. I'll be your obsession.
Okay, so the mix is a bit off from your norm. There's just obfuscation coming from the EQ and low end. I think compression is being triggered probably by big sub peaks from the 808. Your vocals are great, even if you're going to track them again. Your backing mix does seem all pushed back a great degree, though, so it's really hard to judge the mix in general. One, the balance of that mix. Your vocals are absolutely on top of it. But I can't hear the backing mix well enough to give really critical feedback on that. I know you oftentimes pass all this stuff off after tracking your vocals again. So I'll just kind of give you just a general bit of feedback about the whole vibe. I think it's a good vibe. I think that when you get a mix engineer on this, that it needs to be treated like some modern soul music with a splash of vintage nuance, right? Like I want some warmth and fullness, and I don't want the backing elements to have a mix that comes anywhere close to an electronic mix. I don't feel like your voice deserves that. I think your voice deserves something better. So a bit more of a highbrow mix, if you will. But you know, focused on the kind of soulful, warm, full mix. Lots of surging energy at just the right times to kind of embellish the emotional impact of the vocals, your performance. Yeah, that's what I got for you. Traptize. I want this carpet to be vacuumed and cleaned up. I want my fork to be served on the right side of my plate. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So similar feedback from other folks. BlackBerry is also kicking in with a bit of advice saying this bass line would sound cool if it were subtly doubled up with a fretless just to get a little bend in the movement of the notes. The vocals seem to overcompressed, especially during the choruses. Yeah, not the normal mix from you. I think the other ones that you've brought through are better. So you might also want to open up a couple of those other projects and just kind of take a look and see what's being done. It seems like something else is being done in this one. Oh man. BlackBerry Studios, you use a fork? What are you, rich? Oh man. We already heard Zev. This one's not sure. And it's called Collapse. Let's do this. Aye. bits on the side. Ooh, this moment. Yeah, some good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I love the change-ups in this. There are a couple of nitpicky things here. Less sub presence in the kick, please. Roll off the cutoff of the sub channel to 50 hertz so I can hear your sound design in the mid highs even better. Kick down 3 dB and A/B test and see if you like it better or worse at that point, because everything's going to change just slightly. You're going to have a bit more presence in pretty much everything above your sub when you make that change, even though it's a subtle one. So I think your kick is probably going to come down 3 dB. But definitely A/B test that and see if you're feeling that. At 3 minutes, I would bring these plucks up when they come in. The little triplet things are amazing. You should call a little bit more attention to them, I think, and bring the ARP down just a little bit because it competes. And then at 3:33, I would just a general bit of feedback on the position of all the ear candy, because they're all kind of out here. And it's great that the mix is this wide, but not everything needs to be in that same little pocket. In fact, if you had some stuff that wasn't static in its position also, those little slices are great right here, but wouldn't they be impressive if they just went across my face with one of them? You know what I'm saying? Just like, yeah, that's it. That's what I got for you. Blackberry says there's some sort of periodic clicking that is occurring in the percussive elements, almost like a bad edit point. If it's intentional, it's a decision you might want to reconsider, as my ear detracts from the overall music. Yeah, you know, I was picking up on that. And the other thing that I thought, it's kind of funny, was vinyl cutting. It was kind of reminiscent of that a bit. Mr. Crank, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Cardio Party, you are up. Liv says, okay, ambient track I made a couple of days ago, or house track I made back in January. The people have spoken. Tremties is the people. Dude, not sure. This was dope. This was very, very good. If you're not following Cardio Party, follow Cardio Party. Watch live streams. Have fun. Win big prizes. I think she's giving away a Mercedes or something this week in her streams, right? I didn't show you how deep is my love. I think I'm vibing with what Blackberry's saying about moving offset in the conga. I like the vibe of this one. I think things are getting a little busy with the ARP and competing melodic elements in a couple of spots. It could be need for greater separation, or maybe just consolidating, picking and choosing which things are more necessary than others. And I would also say that this is great. It's fun. It's got a really cool energy to it. It's not your normal stuff, and it's got like a cool summer vibe to it, you know? All right, we've got Vibe Dilla coming up next, and I am going to hit pause on me for just a second so I can run to the restroom, and I'm going to play you some Javar while I do that, so you guys can chill out to this. Another World. I'm glad you're okay. Glad you're okay. That kind of stuff is so scary. Yeah, that Javar guy again. You guys got to put up with him. He's here. He's here. He's part of the community. Gotta love him. I'll be right back. Oh, and you know what? This slide is going to say starting soon. My be right back sign is slide is not functioning apparently. I'll be right back. Later, Blackberry. All right, where were we? Haha, Mr. Crank. Fingers crossed, just got an offer for a tune I posted, even though it ain't done yet. Nice. Let's see here. Discord, that's where we're going. And Notepad. All right, Vibe Dilla. You are up. Let's do this. Let's also take a roll call. Who is actually here right now to hear the feedback? Because we are bumping up against the clock. And if you're not here, then we might skip over you. So people that are here get to hear the thing. Oh, okay, okay. There's a little Easter egg. Javar says, oh, I forgot. There's a bit of Heinbach's landfill totems in there too. Tremtize left an hour ago. Let's skip over him. All right, let's do this. This is good. I think it's a solid vibe. You should chase it until it's done. You're gonna have to find a way to create more interest, though, because it can't just loop like this, right? And you've got to put some kind of an arc to it, right? If you're gonna sell this beat or use it in something, there's gonna be a change that comes eventually. So what is that change gonna be? So you got to figure out how you're going to develop it beyond this. I would also recommend spending a little bit of time with the EQ and tightening up the low end of your sound. Well, just your sounds in general. But I think the low end is where most of the trimming needs to happen. Just shave a little bit off of the low end frequencies on most of the sounds in your track. And things are going to start to sound a little bit better. The other thing is play around with your EQ on delay and reverb channels as well, because it's really easy to forget that those frequencies that don't need to be there are going out there into your mix. So you can put an EQ on right after a reverb or a delay on a parallel channel, take off some highs and lows. It'll just kind of help keep everything popping in the mix nice and clear. Dremia. 808 sub, potato, potato. Yes. Another World, please do. I have not touched it in a bit. Man. Just been so flippin' busy. When was the last thing I put in there? I'm just kind of curious. What was it? February? Really? My gosh, time is really flying this year. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Andremia. This is the name of the song. And look at this art, by the way. Is this Apricity? This art here? Oh, sorry, I wasn't even thinking. I was going to go get permission, and I'm obviously streaming music from. So I'll do that later. Sorry about that, Andremia. And Drivia, this is good. The vocal formant bit is a great fit. I love it. A little tighter EQ work on the mid-range elements in the mix, just to get a little bit more clarity. You may also want to try just adding some subtle saturation to the entire track and see what pops. It's really just the edges of some of the sounds are, they feel like a little bit obscured almost. That sustained pad that's happening there in the background can come down just a little bit. And the pulse on the side can come down just a little bit as well. That's good. I like this one. I think there could be just a little more separation between sounds in volume level. Those would be my nitpicks on this one. Not really a lot to nitpick on this one. This one's using samples from Google Music's LM. Google Music LM. You are welcome, Andromia. Acute. Tafa, are you here? See what Acute has made this week. I like this art. 400 as Nadell. What is up? What's good, homie? Happy Friday to you. Bye, Paul. Cute. I'm not sure if you're in here or you're going to see this on the VOD, but this is solid. It's fun. I love the energy. I like what Trem says. This is get shit done type beat. And in the intro, in that filtered bit. The energy of the beat mixed with the distortion textures is a really cool thing to come out of into the full mix. This art is pretty nice too. Some like quantum distractions over here. The kick is a bit dominant. Also, remove low frequencies. Move cutoff up to 60 hertz on this one. Doesn't need to be that low. 58 seconds. I would let that synth come in at this volume for the breakdown, but before it, for like the 15 seconds before, I feel like it should be about 5 dB lower because there's direct competition with the other synth. At 136, this noise synth could be filtered a bit with some modulation, so the highs are only disclosed here and there, because right now, when it's all being disclosed, it is a little distracting from some of the other bits, but if that were to kind of change over time, then all of a sudden, like this thing peaks out over the other things and then kind of tucks back in and then peaks out again, would probably be pretty cool. Really super heady panning action at 2 minutes. I feel like if you were walking down the street and listening to this, you might bump into something. And lastly, it feels a little squished in general, like the compression is just a bit too much. I would back off the compression so there's just a little bit more dynamic room between the lows, the highs, get a little bit more natural separation and change over time. And Andremia says some of the high end can be tamed a bit as well. Yeah. Lots of movement, lots of constant interest. Solid acute. Tafa, are you here? I don't think you're here. Something good is, though. Let's do this. This one's called Horse. Look at this art, by the way. Oh, no, you are here. Okay. Sorry, I thought I asked earlier and I didn't see a response, so I probably missed it. Tafa, you are up. This one is called CB Machines Remake. Did he already answer and I'm like completely oblivious? Let me scroll up. I probably did. All right, here we go. CB Machines Remake.
Hey yo, Tafa, you made this?
Mordo, wiesz kto jest na bicie?
Who's talking what? Anywhere goes, they know I into this talking stuff. We call these bluff. Fuck with the G's, don't squeeze, won't stop till this corner's done. They lie on tracks. Talk about drop my Chris, these lies gonna get you bun. I'll call his mum. They ain't really on mum on, so stop with this talking. Really a savage, the life that spit I live. Trust me, I ain't just rapping. Really good questions. Yeah, we had room on ropes. That was me gang on madness, really on badness. When I grip that bowl. Trust I was doing up stabbings, my knife what miss. Nigga, if you slip, get drenched. Grass the ops, what happened? Got people with cowards on road, them man run and hide. Joe, them man hide in showers, they ate on piss. Yeah, I already said that shit, don't compare me to none of these rappers. Really on votes, I ain't got talk, they know. Really trying to take their souls, really trying to get man down. Really trying to turn them loud. Pat's got enough to go round. If you fuck with a set, get drenched. If you fuck with a guy, get packed. My aim is still intact. I've done billions of f***ing whacked. Yeah, with the kings of shillings. Yeah, with the kings of the seven. When I get round there, some I ain't tryna hear no attempt. Who's talking what? Anywhere goes, they know I into this talking stuff. We call these bluff. Fuck with the G's, don't squeeze, won't stop till this corner's done. They lie on tracks. Talk about drop my Chris, these lies gonna get you bun. I'll call his mum. They ain't really on mum on, so stop with this talking. Really a savage, the life that spit I live. Trust me, I ain't just rapping. Really good questions. Yeah, we had room on ropes. That was me gang on madness, really on badness. When I grip that bowl. Trust I was doing up stabbings, my knife what miss. Nigga, if you slip, get drenched. Grass the ops, what happened? Got people with cowards on road, them man run and hide. Joe, them man hide in showers, they ate on piss. Yeah, I already said that shit, don't compare me to none of these rappers. Really on votes, I ain't got talk, they know. Really trying to take their souls, really trying to get man down. Really trying to turn them loud. Pat's got enough to go round. If you fuck with a set, get drenched. If you fuck with a guy, get packed. My aim is still intact. I've done billions of f***ing whacked. Yeah, with the kings of shillings. Yeah, with the kings of the seven. When I get round there, some I ain't tryna hear no attempted.
Hey yo, Tafa, you made this?
Mordo, wiesz kto jest na bicie?
Yeah, producer stamp's great. All right, so here's what we got here. The vocals are great. Add some overdrive to them. No like distortion grit, just plain and simple overdrive. May not even need to add a bunch of actual drive to it. I'm thinking like maybe 1.5 dB, 0.5 dB. You can decide if you want to adjust the volume down after you make that choice or make that change. It'll be just a little bit more present in the mix, so it'll sound louder, a little bit more defined and clear. So it will definitely put it kind of right on top of the mix. The other thing is the vocal pad in the background, which is Ace, by the way, can come down a few and also dip out a few dB around 450 hertz or so to make more room for the vocals, right? The vocals are sitting, I think, like just below 500. So if you take just a little scoop out of that vocal pad in the background, it's going to make just that little bit of extra difference. Transition effect at 154, which brings me to the other point, which is toss in a couple of transition effects and some kind of sound effect in a couple of spots here. It would add to the feeling of story, like backstory. Definitely kind of give it a vibe that is greater than just the beat itself, if that makes sense, right? It could be like a sword pull. It could be very simple, like noise sweeps or whooshes, just a little, right? It could even be like a door slam, right? If it has some kind of relationship to the vocals, like to the lyrics, much, much better. But just for ear candy's sake, movement and interest, sprinkle in a little bit of something on top, just embellishment stuff. Yeah, Trem, very cinematic, but simplistic. I like it. Yeah, I agree. You're not really pushing it too much in any one way. This really just comes down to make these things sit just a little bit more together. Let them be a little bit more collaborative. Sorry, I almost skipped you. Yeah, that's good. Jafar, you take care. I know we're running over a bit, but we're going to try and get another one here. Something good. This one's called Horse. And take a look at this art. Just look at this art. This is good. Hola, way. That cloud is the princess. They're never long enough. They're never, ever long enough. I'm not sure that you've ever brought anything that's been long enough. Got to work on that. It's really, really good. It's really, really good. I love your composition. I know I've said it before, but everything ends up sounding so flippin' organic. All of this is in the box, right? Everything is in the box. You do a really good job of spending the time on the small details. You doubled your staying power, and I'm still unsatisfied, and yet highly satisfied. It's really, really good. It's really good. I just want this to be longer. I just want it to be longer and to be hearing stuff from you more often. Is it asking so much? Maybe you could ditch out on some of your friends. Like, stop calling your mom on the weekends or something like that. Living up to, like, adulting responsibilities and just make more freaking music for us. More, longer. Ooh, hey, actually, Cody is actually maybe onto something here. What if you loaded up your different tracks as samples, like on different pads, and then you started triggering them? Like as a live performance, just like jamming that stuff. Oh, you have done that a lot of times. Okay. We're all on the same page, just not in the same room. That was really good. Airvox, are you here? Flipping yourself. Absolutely. Oh. The only 2-minute tracks I got on SoundCloud is 2 1-minute tracks together. Sing Songy, it's you. Let's do this. This one's called TRXS. If I can spell. There we go. I like this. I like this little motif. I feel like you can flesh this out into a complete song. I like it. It has the right elements to start something kind of immersive and big and cinematic. We do need to attend to something right out the gates, though, and that is the luffs. It's being pushed to this unnatural loudness. As not going to be good for the type of music that I'm feeling like this is probably going to become. The other thing is that whenever you do increase the loudness like this, you're going to shine a light on stuff like resonance. There's some resonance lurking in this sound here, which is incredibly common for this type of sound. It's part of what makes it so lovely. It's also part of what makes it so you have to treat it, kind of tenderly, right? So you can't always push all of the things. If you're going to use these kind of soulful sounds, we need to treat them in more of like a soulful way. So I would back off that loudness and try to work in kind of an au naturel kind of state while you're developing this one. But I like the initial direction that you're going with this one. And yeah, Mr. Crank, resonance can also be fun to play with when coloring saturation or when coloring distortion. Yeah, you guys, someone made comments about that with one of the or two of the tracks that I was making last week on the streams, or maybe it was the top of this week. I can't remember now. But there was like a 2.5 minute track, and a lot of it kind of centered around this sustained feedback tail that I was kind of teasing in different ways as the rest of the stuff was developing. And that in and of itself is enough to create the tension and intensity and release needed to generate a real story arc. So you can have something completely ambient and almost entirely texture based, and all of it gets life from freaking feedback, which is freaking magic. Yeah, I like coloring with phasers, filters, resonance, absolutely. That did feel like 10 seconds, right? Netherworld? Yeah. I like the kind of cloudy, heady kind of vibe of this. It's good stuff. Oh, resonators. Resonators. All right, kitty cats. I really gotta bounce. Check out Resonator by Zenth Audio. Cody Modi, I will take you up on that deal. I will absolutely give you feedback on that track early. And whoever else is left hanging, Crank, Asnadel, dude, man, why'd you have to show up so late? You guys. I'm just kidding. I just got a boogie because I got a call that I can't move. So, yeah, what's up with that? Showing up late, man. You probably even showed up late on the days that I wasn't streaming. I'm just kidding you, man. It's really good to see you. I know. Oh, 400 as an adult. You been good? It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. But at least you lurk for like 15 minutes before we raid. That's so true. All right, you guys, let's go raid someone really quick. Let's see who's up, and we'll make a quick decision. Showing up on a Thursday. Oh. Yeah, dude, 400. We got, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Show up on one of those days. You drop a link. We'll give you feedback. All right. Even if I'm just working on music or something. Got you. I really want to hear what you've been working on. All right. So let's see. Let's just see here. Who's streaming right now? Will Hatton made a comeback to Twitch this week. I was talking with him this morning. Someone else was coming back recently. Oh, but I do see Cardio Party is streaming, so we're going to go say hi to Liv. We can keep this party going. Drop you off. You guys have a great weekend. As always, I appreciate you. I appreciate your music and your skills, your talent. All of it. All of it. All of it. Your boundary pushing. All of it. Thank you. I will see you guys after this weekend. We will regroup on Monday. We'll make some noise, and we might even listen to some more of what you guys have been cooking. Until then, peace out, be well, and stay inspired. Bye.